दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, why the present strategy that India is taking will squeeze Pakistan like never before. And at 9 o'clock tonight, why without doubt the Congress party and the Vadra Gandhi family and Rahul Gandhi in particular have all become the #1 Pakistani stooges. Well, tonight we can say without a slightest ounce of prevarication that I have no doubt we will strike Pakistan, and we will strike them hard, we will strike them with decision, we will strike them with planning, we will strike them with strategy, but most importantly, we will strike them when we've squeezed them out. What's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the giant squeeze of Pakistan. We will squeeze Pakistan dry till it cries. And the clearest indication that there will be action, and a big action, came from Rajnath Singh. Let's play his soundbite.
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। उनकी कार्यशैली से भी अच्छी तरह परिचित हैं, उनकी दृढ़ता से भी अच्छी तरह परिचित हैं। जोखिम उठाने का भाव किस तरीके से उन्होंने सीखा है अपने जिंदगी में, उससे भी आप अच्छी तरह समझते हैं। मैं आपको आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जैसा आप चाहते हैं वैसा होकर रहे हैं।
And that reaction said it all. जैसा आप चाहते हैं वैसा होगा. What you want will happen. What the public seeks will happen. And what does the public seek? The public seeks revenge. The public seeks military action. Ladies and gentlemen, the second big proof was the release of the Pinaka videos. Some incredible visuals out there, and it can't be played without audio, so I want to play a little clip with the audio. Those visuals which we'll continue to play right now are that of the Pinaka rocket system, and these visuals were released strategically by the Indian Army. Of course, this Pinaka system demonstrates incredible firepower. 72 rockets within 44 seconds, 7 tons of explosives at ranges of up to 60 kilometers. This is devastation coming Pakistan. The third bit of information on the lead today was that about the civilian drills. Now, for the first time since 1971, the Ministry of Home Affairs has asked several states to conduct civil defense mock-out drills. Civil defense mock-out drills, which will include air raid sirens, training civilians, enforcing blackout protocols, camouflaging vital installations, and rehearsing evacuation plans. That's a very big lead. That's something big is coming. The fourth big factor was the call with Vladimir Putin, the first call, and in which President Putin spoke to Prime Minister Modi and strongly condemned the Pahalgam attacks, saying its perpetrators must be brought to justice. The fifth big lead is that Pakistan is now so afraid, so nervous, so alone in this whole wide world. There's nobody with them. Nobody with them. Shahbaz Sharif has gone completely crazy that they're calling for de-escalation, and Pakistan's UN envoy has been asked to seek a briefing with all possible countries, requesting them to tell India not to attack them. But most importantly today, the Prime Minister continued to meet high-level security reviews. So whatever is happening, the leads are, it's all being directed by Prime Minister Modi. Who has he met? He met Ajit Doval. Then he met Home Secretary Govind Mohan at his office. And earlier, the Defense Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh briefed the Prime Minister. That is after the 30-minute meeting with Air Chief Marshal AP Singh. And on Saturday, he had met the Navy Chief. So Sunday, Air Chief. Monday, Defense Secretary. Saturday, Navy Chief. Monday, National Security Advisor and Home Secretary. Be sure something big is happening this time. Let's just be united and together. Let's never believe this Vadra Gandhi family. They never speak ill about Italy, ladies and gentlemen. Never has Rahul Gandhi spoken ill or Sonia Gandhi spoken ill once about the country where she was born, Italy. They always abuse the country and abuse our soldiers. I'll come to that at 9. But the biggest lead today is the fact that we slowly started squeezing the flow of water through the Baglihar Dam. This dam is on the Chenab River, right? And then we will do the same thing with the Kishan Ganga Dam, which is on the Jhelum River. And the 90% of the downstream water going through Chenab will be squeezed. And then their throats will be parched. They'll cry out for water. And then we'll do what we have to with them. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am looking broadly at the big squeeze of Pakistan. Here's a quick report.
Blood and water will not flow together. The promise made 8 years ago is now put into action. Almost 90% of the downstream water from the Baglihar Dam on the Chenab River was withheld today.
Here at the river Chenab, here you will see that the water levels have come down. They have come down drastically in last 48 hours. Reason being that India is regulating the flow of the Chenab. It's on its own, and that is what has rattled Pakistan the most.
In the valley, the security forces have tightened up the security net. India's border villages are preparing for all situations.
The Jammu and Kashmir Police's Special Operation Group has been deployed extensively across this sector. They are conducting thorough vehicle checks at multiple checkpoints, scrutinizing both private and commercial vehicles to ensure no unauthorized movements.
Every day, Prime Minister Modi is chairing key meetings. States have been asked to prepare civilians. The message from the top is clear. Revenge is coming.
India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backer. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth.
मैं सभी आतंक फैलाने वालों को कहना चाहता हूं कि लड़ाई का अंत नहीं है, एक मकाम है। हर व्यक्ति को चुन चुन कर जवाब भी मिलेगा, जवाब भी लिया जाएगा। ये नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार है, किसी को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, किसी को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
मैं आपको आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जैसा आप चाहते हैं वैसा होकर रहेगा।
Our message to those trying to lecture us is also clear.
We look for partners. We don't look for preachers. Particularly preachers who don't practice at home what they preach abroad.
Even before India's response, Pakistan is crumbling from within. From Baluchistan,
बंगालियों ने जो कुछ आप लोगों के साथ किया वो कितनी नस्ल तक आपको याद है? उसको भी तो याद करो ना। दुनिया की जंगी तारीख में 90,000 फौजियों ने जो इकट्ठे हथियार नहीं डाले जो आपकी फौज ने डाले, ये भी अपनी निसाब की किताबों में डाल दें कि आपकी आने वाली 10 नस्लें वो भी पढ़ें। अपनी निसाब की किताबों में ये भी डाल दें कि उन 90,000 फौजियों के न सिर्फ हथियार बल्कि उनकी पतलूनें भी आज दिन तक वहां पे टांगी हुई हैं।
To Khyber Pakhtunkhwa,
वजील क्या उलमा अगत उलमा कसम पर अल्लाह कुरान में मखित दे अगई बदा दुआगा निकोली या अल्लाह पदे मुल्क दे हिंदुस्तान हमला वाला मुंग बदे हिंदुआन फौज मरगिरी गिरसू दक्पल फौज मरगिरतिया न कहू तुम जुल्म नशी तुम पुख्तान दे उठा कोल ता सर बताई दू की ता मरगिरतिया बहु की ता बस बदे जिंदाबाद जगह हुई।
to Islamabad,
अगर पाकिस्तान हिंदुस्तान की जंग में आप में से कितने लोग पाकिस्तान का साथ देंगे, हाथ खड़ा करें। कम ही नजर आ रहे हैं। इसका मतलब है कि काफी समझ पैदा हो चुकी है। हिंदुस्तान में इतना जुल्म नहीं है जितना पाकिस्तान में जुल्म है।
Pakistani army is boxed in within its own borders. Even their own parliamentarians refuse to stand their ground.
और बतौर पाकिस्तानी अगर जंग बढ़ जाती है तो बंदूक लेकर बॉर्डर पर जाएंगे?
नहीं, अगर जंग बढ़ जाती है तो मैं इंग्लैंड चला जाऊंगा।
The Pakistani National Assembly has convened for an emergency session, perhaps for another self-goal.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में एक फोरम बना जिसका नाम है द रेजिस्टेंस फोरम, और उस पे उसको कंडेम किया गया, उसको जिम्मेदार ठहराया गया उस प्रेस रिलीज में। तो मुझे आई, मैंने देखा, मैंने कहा ये एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं। पहलगाम के साथ आपको लिखना पड़ेगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। मुझे बड़े बड़े कैपिटल से कॉलें आई कि देखें इस वक्त मैं कहा नथिंग डूइंग, ये नहीं हो सकता, पाकिस्तान विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट। वो कहते आप पे ब्लेम आएगा, प्रेस रिलीज नहीं हुई, इतना बड़ा वाकया हुआ। आपके जावर एक्सप्रेस भी ये आई थी, कंडेमनेशन की, टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी को कंडेम किया गया था। मैंने कहा ये रेडी, बट प्लीज you have to put in Jammu and Kashmir and have to delete this TRF.
चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ तशरीफ लाए, पैर कांप रहे थे, पसीने माथे पे थे, और हमसे शाह महमूद साहब ने कहा, फॉरेन मिनिस्टर साहब ने, कि खुदा का वास्ता है अब इसको वापस जाने दें, क्योंकि 9 बजे रात को हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान पे अटैक कर रहे हैं।
Our warning to Pakistan is clear. Don't get too comfortable. India's strike is imminent. The time and place will be decided on our terms.
It's a top-class panel tonight on the imminent strike. We have General Bishambar Dayal. Thank you very much, sir. We have, of course, General G.D. Bakshi. We have Tilak Deveshar, member of the National Security Advisory Board. He has been in the past. He's been with the government at the highest levels of covert work as well. General K.K. Sinha, Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, and our very own Major Samarpal Toor to take us through this. Thank you very much. We have some visuals which just broke, and this has been released just a while back by... and this is visuals of the DRDO, ladies and gentlemen, and the press release says that DRDO and Indian Navy have successfully conducted combat firing with reduced explosive of the indigenously designed and developed multi-influence ground mine, or MIGM. This has just come out. So these are some visuals that we have got, and we will now go back to the debate. General Bakshi, I want to start with you. Some people say it's taking long. And then there is one view that it should take long, because we need to go in with thought, with planning, with strategy, with ammunition, with mobilization, and with the strategic advantage in terms of weather, climate, passes, every area, everything. Now, how are you viewing this time that it's taking? The government doesn't seem to be in a tearing hurry to move. It's like Pakistan wants us to move now. They've been saying, aaj kal, parso. We're taking our time. We're taking our time. What's going on in your view? General Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, the historical precedent is the 1971 war. In March 1971, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw had been asked by Indira Gandhi to get into Bangladesh, go into Bangladesh. And he said, Madam, If you want me to guarantee you 100% success, then let me go in the month of November, December. I guarantee you 100% success, right? You ask me to go in now, I will obey orders, but I cannot assure you success, right? So the fact of the matter is, we went in 6 months after 6 months of meticulous preparation, coordination of plans, coordination of actions. And then when we struck after Pakistan had hit us on 3rd December, all our 6 forward airfields. In 13 days, Arnab, we had reached the capital city of Dhaka, 550 kilometers into then East Pakistan, right? We had created a new nation state with the force of arms. We had broken Pakistan into two, and 93,000 prisoners of war, the largest mass surrender after the Second World War had taken place. So revenge is a dish, I keep saying, that is best served cold. And you need to prepare, you need to get, there are some last minute gaps, you need to plug them in. The United States yesterday has given us the Hawkeye, they promised to give us the Hawkeye, we've already paid for it. We are getting last minute stuff. Russians have promised us all support. That is exactly how it had happened. I lived through 1971. I can vividly recall every day. Then the Russians had, laid out on the table, take what you want, take what you need, and they had even offered to give us the Tupolev bombers, strategic bombers then, But the simple fact is, you need to prepare. I know the Indian Armed Forces well. We work best when we prepare methodically. We are not used to sudden, lunges or lurches. IPKF, we went without preparation, and we had to pay a price for it.
So it's very important what you're saying is that
better to prepare.
Yeah.
Only fools. No, Arnab, I'll just finish. Only fools rush into battle. Yeah. Soldiers who know what the consequences of battle are, prepare slowly, methodically, and enter it with a prayer in their hearts.
It's important, viewers, you capture every word that is being spoken on this program tonight. These are the finest minds in the country. What we are understanding from the initial comments is that if we have not struck yet, it's not because we won't strike. We should not be foolhardy. When we do, we will do it on our terms and at a time, place, and nature of our choosing. That is called having a strategic advantage. That is also called psychological warfare, what is called strategic silence. Sometimes you need to be quiet. You need the whole world to start guessing, what are these people doing? Why are they taking so much time? Why haven't they done a surgical strike yet? And then when you act, you really do. Now, Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, you've served at the highest levels of the Indian Air Force. We're very privileged to have you. Air Marshal Kapoor, the Air Force Chief, met the Prime Minister yesterday. He's known to be a straight-talking man, sometimes a little too straight. And then the Prime Minister met the Defence Secretary today. So obviously there is this discussion going on that we are procuring everything we need, as much as we can, in as quick a period as possible. That's reasoning. So the Air Chief meets, then the Defence bureaucracy meets, and both are meeting the Prime Minister, which means the decision is at the very top, whatever is going on, right? How do you view the Air Force's situation and these few meetings that have happened in the weekend? Navy Chief also met, by the way, on Saturdays. Please.
See, we've been covering this in many forums. Your program also have covered. We are to be prepared for the escalatory ladder. It is not the first strike or the second strike. Both the wars which are happening in Europe and in Middle East have pulled on for 3 years. The Russian war and 1.5 years for Israel-Hamas conflict which has begun. If for some reason the conflict goes prolonged, are we prepared? This would be the first question that would be answering. Okay. Second is the new dynamics which are coming up, integration of space, drones, EW, all these factors to be clubbed into our warfare is to be factored in because the enemy would be working on this. If you notice, all the tantrums and the statements which are coming from the politicians of their side. None of the statements has ever come from a Pakistani military personnel. So we will do this, we will strike here, we will blow the dam here, we will put the nuclear bombs here. This is a kind of rhetoric which they wish to play for the public. And heart of hearts, as what we are seeing and working, they are really scared because they are spread thin of internal conflict. And I'm sure once the conflict begins, the support from their allies would also come in. We would also be factoring in that part also.
And you have the Iranian foreign minister in Pakistan, I think today, and I think tomorrow he's coming here. Yes. So there's a balancing act with countries like Iran as well. So what I'm understanding here is that we are dealing with a slightly different situation. We are dealing with a situation which is not a surgical strike situation. One thing is clear to me, you don't need so much planning for a surgical strike. Also, we have a little bit of an advantage, General Dayal, that the Pakistanis don't know what we are going to do. Their ministers are scrambling for intelligence reports to gather information about India's next step, but they're really not being able to figure it out. They've have they ever seen India plan for an attack? This is an unusual situation where we've said we are going to attack you, and then we are doing exactly the way the things will happen. There seems to be also no impact of the political pressure on the Modi government, which is good.
Yes, which is very good, Arnab. Actually, we shouldn't act under any political pressure. We should not act under any emotional pressure. Like, we are also quite emotive. We appear on the television, but our aim is not to rush India into any emotive because of emotions lead into disaster. See, we got to understand that this is not Kargil, where he had occupied some territory. He's not sitting in our territory. He has carried out a strike, a terrorist strike on with his stooges here, which has hurt us and hurt us deeply. But does not mean that the whole nation, because of that hurt, commits another folly.
So we must continue to be rational.
No, we have to be rational. No, I'll come to Arnab. See, we talked of our all strategic thinkers and even our old CDS, and everybody talks of a 2.5 front war, right? Firstly, let's get at the half front. I mean, presently we are removing all OGWs, all elements which internally could disturb us. We are carrying out internal drills. We need to prepare our population also now. This is going to be a devastating war. So our population is being prepared for airstrikes, for anything that the adversary could do. Secondly, if we talk of two-front war, then in a situation like this, considering particularly the way Air Marshal was just referring to two ongoing conflict, we may have a situation where the other front we'll have to contain. Contain means the other front, I don't say China will do anything, but at least he will position himself in a like that his entire posturing will be like that probably our forces will be held. So preparatory phase is very important. So we got to look at the following thing. We will find a suitable time when the climate suits us, when we are fully prepared. I mean, our forces may be going through integrations, drills, various things the way we do before war. And at the right time of choosing where we have the free, where we deliver a decisive.
The only danger in this situation could be, and I want to go to Tilak Deveshwar on it, the only danger in this situation is, it is said, I don't know, that the longer the time passes, the more the global pressure builds and the sense of legitimacy of a counter-attack starts getting questioned. And the most obvious example people are giving is that of Israel. Were they better prepared? Why did they react immediately after the October 7th Hamas attack? If it lasts for a long time, then too many foreign countries, players will get involved. There'll be one big diplomatic khichdi, which will take away the sting of an attack, and then there could be many other intervening factors which could have happened in between now and whenever that date is. So the question, since we are asking Tilak Deveshwar, is not whether but when. Is there a outer line to that when, in your view?
Thank you, Arnab. Thank you. I think there has been universal condemnation of this horrible attack in Pahalgam. Everybody realizes the anger in India and the fact that India has to take action. Now, India has in the past twice sent a strong message to Pakistan after Uri and after Pulwama that behave yourself, that you cannot resort to terrorism and interstate relations. And we had thought that Pakistan would learn its lesson. It hasn't. So therefore, this time, the lesson that Pakistan has to be taught has to be so severe that it will not forget that lesson for at least a generation. Now, this kind of a message, this kind of an action has to be planned very, very carefully, planned meticulously, not only the initial action, but the second, the third, and also to make a judgment on the escalation ladder. So I think time frame is not important as far as I'm concerned. And I think the people of India have also realized that immediately within 24 hours, the non-kinetic actions were taken, especially the holding of the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance and the visuals that you showed of how Pakistan is gradually going to dry up. I think people realize that you have done something so substantial that is going to hit Pakistan in the long term. As far as the kinetic action is concerned, I think people realize that this has to be extremely well planned, because this time around, we don't want to repeat 2 years down the road. We don't want something like this to happen again. So for that, if you have to go in for a decisive action, then planning, careful planning, meticulous planning, and time should not be a constraint. There is no urgency that you have to do it tomorrow or you have to do it next week. Only when the three services and the political leadership is satisfied that they have taken care of all unforeseen circumstances should that action be taken. And as the Defence Minister has assured, that action will be taken. The Prime Minister has assured that action will be taken. I think we should just wait and let the services do their work.
Viewers, this is a very important time. I am getting in pictures of the Prime Minister. I just got shots of the Prime Minister. I think he was just leaving the PMO sometime back, viewers. So, and his meetings, of course, continue at home for quite a long time, late into the night. Now, viewers, I will open up lines today. What is my view? Though in the presence of such experts, I shouldn't be speaking. But my view is that this is not 2008. This is not the era of dossiers denials. This is a new India. We're going to attack them, calibrated, patient, surgical in intent, but may not be in nature. This time it has to be something that solves the problem, does not just leave a sense that we can ghar mein ghus kar marenge kind of thing. It's not symbolic this time, right, General KK? This time, it's more than symbolic, or quite obviously. And viewers, please note, all these are very, very senior people who've served in the government and the army, and they're very patient. So there's no reason why you watching at home should not also be patient. Just be with your government. It's our government. It's our Prime Minister. It's armed forces. Don't try and dictate terms. Let's not try and put unnecessary pressure on the armed forces. Let them do it like Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw did. It's our nation at stake. Just imagine if Indira Gandhi had told Sam Manekshaw, no, do it tomorrow. But he said to her that I will do it, Prime Minister, when I am ready. Yeah. And that's why we won. General KK.
Arnab, what you are talking about, I think, is very important. That, we should not rush the way, somehow it is just, we feel it that way it is coming. I am very happy that, this type of debate is happening, and General Bakshi started in 1971. I will just take it there a little bit. In the month of somewhere in June, when the refugees were coming in a big time, and Indira Gandhi wanted to push it. Sam Manekshaw, he said, ma'am, you can select anyone. I hereby resign. Otherwise, you leave it to me when to do it. We made them so that they carried out a preemptive strike. What General Bakshi brought it out, and then we have gone all hog, and 13 days they're out. This time, shaping a battlefield is much, much more difficult, which has been war game. You take it for me. and the people who are slightly senior, they all understand that we have war gamed it in number of times. It is not that the military is not ready. We know how to do it, how to go about, because your aim is very high. This time you are not only going for terrorism, chun chun ke marenge, because the Prime Minister has set the aim very high. He said, Dunya dekhegi. Dunya dekhegi. You see, today, this water war, which is a part of military doctrine, people do not know about it. We have got a defensive part of it, ditch kam ban. Our ditch kam ban is all from Punjab onwards in riverine area is based on this rivers system and canal. We have got in the Pakistanis, in spite of the fact that, 3 rivers, your Ravi, Beas, and Salta, they are not supposed to get a single drop of water. But the complete canal system, if you say up to Bhabal Nagar, and they have taken right up to Cholistan, is from our water, which has been, somehow it is getting released over there. So the water war, which you see, Chenab is dry. Madiala Bridge 1965 war and those Madiala Heights, the battle where we has taken back is total dry today. Pakistan doesn't know how to... This, you understand, it is not a retribution, it has started. This has got military, dimensions, the people who know the warfare, and it has been fought. See what is going to happen once the Jhelum starts. You will find, because we have to somehow keep our target of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan with us. Our target, Gilgit-Baltistan, was in 1990 also in of Vijay. Somehow, strategically, we failed when we said LC will not be crossed. Even like a colonel like me, that time fighting, we were pushing to the highest level, that is the opportunity. We can go to Sakardu. And we have gone to certain area. I will not come back to this. Still we are holding with us. We are not declaring it to, and somehow we are not declared it. There's the right time to declare it. Now, what you are asked, very important to know. And see, the non-contact warfare, when we say it is just not a, first time you may be hearing, or the people are, hearing. We have become a master of non-contact warfare with the covert design and overtly doing something which has got us surprise and deception. This may be a very high sounding word, but I can tell you, I can assure you, we have done not only, war gaming, we have done physically. I'm very happy, the top leadership of the country, they have, given this much of faith that we can go. Only my request to the countrymen, and that please have patience and have a faith in your armed forces. The aim is very high. Integrated defensive battles are not fought on escalatory ladder. That you do it, somehow this word has come up that we are going for escalatory ladder and then we will increase it from low intensity to high intensity. It's not like that. It is a warfare where we have to cater that once for all the China's problem in this area of CPAC is over, which I am keep telling, and indications are there. The area when we talk about Karachi, when we are talk Godar, including Baluchistan today, 22 Pakistani soldiers have been killed. The vehicles of Chinese logistics and the Pakistan logistics have been blown up.
Important.
These things doesn't happen. This was happening in Bangladesh during that time. It was happening. We are not doing it. But invisible hands are doing it. We are shaping on the dural lines. And please, for God's sake, people should understand the strategical dimensions of the today's warfare. It is an integrated way. Believe it, Arnab.
Understood.
Believe it.
Understood,
you will get, if you have patience,
today the war...
Just do something very surgically and come back.
Yeah, I'll get back to you, sir. Quickly going to Samar. Samar, how do you view the change from what was expected a week back to now?
Arnab, being a modern era veteran from this generation, what I foresee is basically we cannot afford to, we cannot fail to plan. Because if we fail in planning, we are planning to fail. So there has to be a zero error. We cannot afford any flaw in the planning, number one. Number two, as I said, it's a non-contact warfare. It is going to involve a lot of technology. And then, we can also have, high-value target selections. For example, Hafiz Saeed is sitting somewhere, we have the intel, we take him out. So we chop off the snake's head. This is one of the main priority. Then, moving next, we can go for tactical hits, but we have to maintain a long-term stance. It is not going to be that we are going to go into the enemy area and we're going to, hold the area immediately. We got to decimate the enemy. We got to cause attrition. We got to damage his supply routes. And, the weight is going to kill them psychologically. Why? Because that anxiety is going to, that high level of alertness is going to exhaust their troops mentally, break them down.
Also because, Samar, I think that because General Bakshi wanted to come back, you see, viewers, every day that Pakistan is waiting is also a game of attrition for Pakistan, is it not? Wars nowadays are land, sea, air, cyber,
economical,
space, economy, demographic, financial, diplomatic, and also in the mind. Also in the mind, I think psychological warfare, psychological overmatch is happening right now. So, General Bakshi, as we wait, what do we have to lose? Nothing. I mean, we just have to be patient. What does Pakistan have to lose if they are made to wait days, weeks and months? What are they losing out?
Arnab, let me give you a very small but very pertinent example. We just got reports from across that the Baluch Liberation Army has freed the towns of Kalat and Mangochar.
Oh, well done.
Baluchistan. Kalat is where it all started from. The Khan of Kalat. The Baluch Liberation Army has freed these. And how have they been able to free this? Because we drew the entire Pakistani army from the Durand Line, from Quetta, from Peshawar, from Baluchistan, from Sindhu Desh, onto the eastern borders, Pakistan's eastern borders with India. We brought them out here. A lot of the areas which are being contested now by the BLO, by the the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, have been denuded of Pakistani troops, giving them an opportunity to breathe, giving them an opportunity to strike and free themselves. And they've already freed 2 villages. Number 2 point, Arnab, I'd like to tell you is that these days, wars are a test of national stamina, military stamina, right? The Russia-Ukraine war clearly shows that unless you have a surge capability, you cannot last.
But are you not concerned about the other point?
Very short wars.
Are you not concerned about the other point, General Bakshi, which I want to go back to, because I've just got a breaking news alert, Tilak Devesharji, that UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is to deliver a media statement on the situation in Kashmir in a short while from now. The statement is ahead of a UNSC closed door meeting requested by Pakistan. Full frame, please. What you're seeing there is a visual we are getting from our cameras. These are direct for Republic from the UN Security Council, where our cameras are waiting. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have our cameras everywhere at a time like this. We are getting you the best and quickest coverage. We'll get you live visual feed of the UN Secretary General's comment. Tilak Deveshar, we may be building up, but what if the diplomatic pressure like this, the calls for peace, so on and so forth, become too intense? See, Israel reacted within 20 days. If it had waited 30 days, maybe it would have got difficult.
There will be calls for restraint. There will not be calls, the people will, for example, the statement that the US Vice President made, that we hope that it does not reach to a regional configuration. They expected that you will do something directly with Pakistan. Just hope that it doesn't go out of hand. So, but as I've mentioned earlier, all countries understand that if somebody comes and does terrorism, and India is no pushover, as compared to Pakistan, India is not a pushover. If somebody comes to my house and kills 26 people, and then the world tells me not to do anything.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So you're saying that to even imagine that pressure will weigh on Prime Minister is completely impossible. Now we'll bleed the Pakistani economy white. What about our military buildup? What about arms, tanks, ammunition, artillery?
See, Arnab, every army, any army has at a peace stage has shortcomings, has its shortages.
Every country?
Every country, even America, even Russia, they have their, you cannot have a...
But we are told that our Air Force is good. We've got Sukhois, Rafales, Tejas, MiG-29.
We are good to go from that point of view. But for a war like this, when we have said we are going to have a war where we are going to punish him so that Pakistan is taught a lesson for times to come. For that sort of a war, we got to prepare wholesomely. You must understand. See, the best benefit with us is that we have something called cold start. We are prepared. We have rehearsed for 20 years after Parakram. We are prepared in that art. Pakistan is not so prepared. We have got integrated all three services. We have been exercising all over. Our mechanized forces have been exercising. We are draining him on LC. There will be casualties from here till whatever time we go to war. You remember 1965? Initially the operation started in Kutch. They were in January, February, March, April. Right? And then we fought a war in September, in the real war. So what I'm saying is...
But don't they also get a time to build up?
Let them build up. So what? Of course they will get time to build up, but it depends who's stronger, who can build strongly, who has more financial reach, who's more economically strong. So all those issues are there. What I'm saying is going for an immediate... See, if it was a short-term teaching a lesson like that is messaging. We are not here for messaging anymore.
This is very interesting. Viewers, this is a very interesting discussion, Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor. And Abhishek is calling in from Kolkata. What I find very fascinating about this discussion is that these are all hardened people in my studio. You guys are all looking very nice and in your civilian uniforms, but you're very tough guys. You've had the highest position in the forces, but you're all saying, be patient, relax. We're going to get them, and give us this time to prepare.
It could be a trap.
What could be a trap?
See, the pressure from the international community to hasten the actions from our internal peoples who are pressurizing the government in many ways in the services, that why there is delay, 10 days have gone, 12 days have gone, why have we not gone in? We should not listen to any of these things. There are professionals sitting at every level who are much wiser and aware of things. And the decision would be taken at an appropriate level with appropriate people. And that's what the inputs you just mentioned.
How's the Air Force? How's the Air Force?
See, Air Force is built up beautifully from 2019. We have added so many things. And the best part is that large of our ammunition is now DRDO produced. Our Kalyanis and Bharat Forge has produced a lot of artillery shells and own cannons. So if the war gets prolonged, we are not dependent on imports as much as the enemy would be. So we have our internal mechanism, and we are building up on our capability as I speak, in my opinion, which once reached a particular level would be tested.
Okay, we're going to open up to calls now. We're going to open up to calls. Our first caller is Abhishek from Kolkata. Abhishek, what's your question?
Hi, good evening,
I'll decide which of our panelists replies to you. What's your question?
Good evening and Jai Hind to the eminent panel today. First and foremost, as a citizen of this country, I would like to repose my full faith in my Prime Minister and the armed forces. The initial emotion was that we should attack immediately. But now as I feel that maybe the Indian government is wanting Pakistan to be squeezed in such a situation that they are left totally dry, virtually on the verge of a civil war from all three sides, where Baluchistan, Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are totally under unrest, and that is the time we strike in.
Also the Durand line, Abhishek.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we have 1 minute. I have to interrupt because Antonio Guterres is making a statement at the UN. Full frame.
And Pakistan are at their highest in years. I deeply respect and I am profoundly grateful to the government of people of both countries and their significant contributions to the work of the United Nations, not least UN peacekeeping. And so it pains me to see relations reaching a boiling point. I understand the raw feelings following the awful terror attack in Pahalgam on 22 April. I once again strongly condemn that attack and extend my condolences to the families of the victims. Targeting civilians is unacceptable, and those responsible must be brought to justice through credible lawful means. It is also essential, especially at this critical hour, to avoid a military confrontation that could easily spin out of control. Now is the time for maximum restraint and stepping back from the brink. That has been my message in my ongoing outreach with both countries. Make no mistake, a military solution is no solution. And I offer my good offices to both governments in the service of peace. The United Nations stands ready to support any initiative that promotes de-escalation, diplomacy, and the renewed commitment to peace. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Rather bland statement there on expected lines. Not that the UN can stop us from doing anything. Any reactions to that? General Bakshi, you heard that? You heard his statement. Antonio Guterres.
Arnab, yes, most certainly, Arnab, with due apologies to this august institution, I think they have been most, irrelevant actually they have become. What have they done to stop the Russia-Ukraine war? What did they do to stop whatever was going on in the...
Nothing, sir, nothing.
For India to be the only country that has to come under pressure from the United Nations or anybody, yes, we are cognizant of those very lofty feelings. But the simple fact is the government has to defend its people.
Absolutely true, sir. Sohani is calling in from Mumbai. Sohani.
That's the primary...
Sohani from Mumbai. General Bakshi, one sec. Sohani is calling for you from Mumbai.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening.
Greetings to all the brilliant minds on your panel right now.
Thank you.
I can tell you that every living room conversation is about why is the Prime Minister not doing anything. But what we need to truly understand is we have to keep faith in him. He is going to act on behalf of 1.4 billion of us.
Oh, absolutely.
In the time when people on our very own soil want cooperation, peace and friendliness between these two countries, our Prime Minister has to silence so many voices and just focus on the bigger lesson. It has to be raw, real and tougher than ever before.
Yes, Sohani.
It's just clear.
I'm totally with you, Sohani. My sentiment.
अब सिर्फ घर में घुसना नहीं है, मारना नहीं है, पर पीओ के छीनना भी है.
बिल्कुल. और अगर ऐसा करना है, thank you so much, Sohani. Look at the sentiment. Isn't that wonderful? Our people are so mature. And we are all behind the army. And please don't think, viewers, nothing is happening. I can't reveal everything. I can't reveal much at all. But I know a lot is happening at this very minute. There's a lot of action right now. And Ashok is calling from Chennai. Ashok.
Good evening, Arnab. It's a brilliant debate you've been having all these days. Trying to enlighten every Indian of what's happening on the war front.
Thank you, sir.
This is I'm so respectful to General G.D. Bakshi Saab. I think in a war situation, the element of surprise is going to play a pivotal role, and that's precisely probably India's planning. And Pakistan has to face the wrath of India this time. There are no two ways about it. And they have to be punished for all the misadventures they've been carrying on against this country for the past 75 years. And as we say, enough is enough. And we are with the Prime Minister and his entire team of people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Ashok,
Arnab.
people say, what should we do? I said, support Narendra Modi. Support the Indian Army. They know what they are doing. And they're working together.
Arnab, if we have to fight a decisive war, and after this decisive war, if we feel that the next generation will live happily, peacefully, and we must resolve this, then I think it's good to prepare on all fronts.
Sir, with respect, I'll interrupt you for a while. The problem has been the army has fought and the army has won 65 also. But after 65, the Congress party went and signed the treaty at Tashkent, which was a wrong thing to do. We could have taken POK then. We had the advantage. 71, we had the advantage. We could have taken POK. We could have really bargained. But then Indira Gandhi went and met Bhutto and signed up in 1972 in the Shimla agreement. We lost. The army wins wars, and the political establishment fritters away the gains.
This time, to be wary of these blunders.
We have to be very careful of such intellectuals.
Forget these intellectuals don't matter. What matters is, I feel, Tilak, that Prime Minister, political and military establishment is working in tandem towards a larger goal this time.
Yes.
There's no opacity. We may not know what's going on. They know exactly what they are going after. Tilakji.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Arnab, that's why the amount of meetings, the amount of time that the Prime Minister is putting into it, he could well have left it to the three arms, the three services. But he is personally monitoring, personally taking meetings with all sections of the defense establishment. So let's trust him. Let's leave the timing to him, because the action that will come will ensure that Pakistan doesn't venture to do something like this again, at least for a generation.
Absolutely.
I think let's give them time. Let's be patient. And, the advantage of this is that Pakistan is sweating. Pakistan is sweating. Pakistan is already bleeding. It doesn't have enough money. It doesn't have ammunition. It doesn't have POL. How is it going to, as it is, it has, I think the reserves are for about 10 or 12 days.
Yeah, they're going to run out.
Already passed.
They're going to run out. They can't hold out. And Pakistan is on our point-blank target range, ladies and gentlemen. The only people we have to be careful about are people like Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party, who know nothing, who believe India is not a nation. That's the kind of anti-national line that Rahul Gandhi takes. And this family, the Vadra Gandhi family and the Congress party, is doing everything to undermine the armed forces. They are a proxy for Pakistan.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला।